I'm one of the OptionVue product consultants here, and this is another edition of OptionVue Essentials. We do this weekly just to try to get some videos out there and, for different topics of OptionVue. It's very robust software. I'm going to cover the matrix today, entering a trade, doing some graphic analysis. There's definitely some new features in there I'm excited to show you guys about, and also give you some hints at things that are coming as well. So I thought that would be a good picture today, Neil from the Matrix, since we're going to be talking about the Matrix. But I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop with you now. And if anybody ever wants a personalized walkthrough, don't hesitate to give us a call. That's what we're here for. Or send me an email. I'd be happy to schedule something with you. Then we'll do a WebEx like this where I'll just share my desktop and you can answer questions, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop here. You're going to look at my OptionVue screen. Okay, and we start off with the course display here. Okay, let me actually make sure I get my little chat box open so I can answer any questions you guys have. Go and if you want me to stop and review something a little bit further in depth, just let me know in the chat there. Okay, so this is my quotes display. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is basically your entry page. You can enter symbols as you please, set up groups, set up tabs down at the bottom here for different quotes displays that you want to switch between if you have a watch list or things like that. And you can set this up, of course, symbols here, and you can always customize these column headings here to different parameters or whatever you want there. To go into a matrix, you can double click on the symbol. We're going to look at the side, or you can click on the matrix here. You want to make sure highlighted on the symbol there if you're going to go into a matrix. I'm going to go ahead and open up a matrix here. This is chain. And the way to get your options chain set up in the manner that you want, to go to View at the top left here, and then you're going to go to Default Matrix Format. Okay, you have up to 3 defaults, and you can set them up when you first get a trial of OptionVue. First get OptionVue, it's in a default mode, and you're definitely going to want to make some changes here. This is what I recommend to people first starting out: a 1x5. The market price, at volatility, MIV, that's the midpoint between the bid and the ask IV. Then a trade. Trading is a very important field. You want to make sure you have a trade field there so that you can put in a contracts that you want to buy or sell, and then you can do your analysis there. Once you convert the trade and want to track the trade, or it's a trade you actually put on, or you're back testing or whatever, you would then convert the trade over to the existing position field. That's what this ex.pos means. So these two fields are very important. And then my last column, I have delta. I'll often switch that to maybe theta or vega, depending on the type of trade I'm putting on. But I just like to have another column here because you can switch this on the fly too. And I'll show you how to do that. But this is how you're going to want a good starting point. But you can always come here once you set it up in the manner that you want. You would set default 1. Number 1 there. And then when you come over to the matrix, and you'll see these buttons here, they all refer to this matrix format. Now this is going to be the matrix format specifically for the SPY here, but you can always set a default up here if you want to on the fly. So say I changed a column here and I really like that, I would then hit this tiny M button, which means memorize, and then I could click the number 1, and it's going to basically do the same thing here, but memorize it from the matrix. Okay. I'm going to get the default, so I can show you what default I have set up for number 2. This is my number 2 default here. This set up this way so I can switch between, I'm thinking about putting a trade on in this ad here, and now I want to see maybe for the specifically for maybe the 167 strike maybe out in the weekly with 9 days left. That's what this means here, 9 days left. And I want to see what the last was, what the bid, the ask, the volume, and the open interest, so I can find out some more specific information about that particular option that I'm thinking about putting a trade on. Okay. And also customize the summary screen down there. I've never really done anything like that. I like the default settings that come down here, and I'll show you more about that in a little bit. The actuals, so if you were to go long, the underline, this is how you would do it. Very similar to how you would in the matrix for the option chains. But basically, this last represents this 165.43. Here's the high. Here's the low. And if I had a trade on, it's the same thing as having the trade field here and the existing position here. There's small boxes on top of each other right here. Okay. So that's how you set up your defaults. You can have up to 3. You can do a number of different styles on your own if you want to. Okay. So I'm going to go OK out of here. I'll show you one more time where I did that. I went at the top here and then went to default matrix format. Okay. Now, another thing you can do as far as formatting the matrix goes is you can do this when you go up to view at the top. You're doing that for any time you open up an options chain. So if I opened up IM right now, you'd see the same format because this is my default. If I wanted to have a specific format here, I can also set it up specifically for the SPY. Okay, format you can see, and you'll know you're doing that up here. And then I can set this up for however I want. If I come by, maybe I want to look at a different matrix format if I'm looking at a GLD ETF or silver, or if you're looking at futures options, maybe you want to have a different setup. So very customizable on different levels as far as what you're seeing when you come into an options chain. Okay. I wanted to turn that off to start off with, but basically a lot of people will call me up when they first get OptionVue and say, hey, I had those colors, where'd they go when I saw your presentation? Well, this S button here next to the Analyze button, that's going to turn on your colors, your standard deviations. And the first color out here is your first standard deviation, then you go to the second in either direction, and the white you're getting out in the third standard deviation. And as you can see, as we go out in time, that area gets bigger because there's more of a chance of those strikes falling within one standard deviation, and then the second, and then the third. Okay. Now, also people say, hey, I don't have those colors. How'd you get those? That's not the colors I have. The colors that come standard are like a blue and a pink. You can go up to File in the top left here and go to Preferences. Okay. Go to Preferences. You would then go to Colors, and you can actually customize this on a rainbow of whatever colors you like, see, and you can really customize all these, how your matrix looks when you open it up. Okay. I made a really hefty list here, so I'm just gonna kind of cross it off as I go here. Again, any questions, just let me know. The other thing is we want to look at is under View at the top, and this is going to be Auto Strike. Okay, this also has to do with the matrix. And I go to Auto Strike, and what this is going to do is every time OptionVue, open up OptionVue, it's going to look at, and this is what Auto Strike means, it's going to look at where the at-the-money is that day, or basically the night before that day. Depending on you open up the program, it's going to look where the at-the-money is. It's going to make a range. It's going to decide upon an in-the-money ITM and an out-of-the-money range. This is for the calls, and this is for the puts. I always put mine to large because I like to see a large matrix and see how many strikes are trading out there when I open up my matrix. But if you don't trade anything that's in the money, that's fine. Don't even worry about that. You can change those to small or moderate if you want to. This is also where you're going to see if you want just 5-point strikes, 1 intervals, or all strikes is where you'll check that off as well. And then if you want weeklies, weeklies in the default format are not checked off. So when you open up an options chain, when you first get OptionVue, it will not display weeklies. Okay. And again, this is the same thing. You can do this. This is for the default, so whenever you open up a matrix. Or you can also go to the Define button here. And there's strikes specifically for the SPY. So say you trade the SPY and you don't care about the weeklies, but you want to look at them whenever you open up a different matrix, you could uncheck this specifically for the SPY. You'll see that you'd be overriding the default settings here. I'm overriding them because I'm not including the quarterlies here. You would hit apply and then OK, and now the weeklies would disappear from this options chain. And if you come into the SPY, you'll just see the monthlies or quarterlies or leaps, whatever else you have checked off here. Okay, this is also where you'll define how many months out you have listed as well. You can do that. Okay. Now say you come into an options chain and say, you know what, there's just not enough strikes based on my auto strike settings. That's not a big deal. Sometimes people will trade really far out of the money calls, or they'll want to look. And mine's really defined. I have a lot of strikes going on here. This is probably larger than what would normally come with the settings. But the way to fix that is you just go into Define on the Options tab here, and this red section, this is the options. They don't have to be in any particular order. OptionVue knows to place them in the correct area. But what I would do here is just go down to this first blank cell. Okay, I would type in 195. I could type 210. I could put in 205. Show you that it doesn't matter. And when you don't have to put the symbol in, it's going to fill these default X's in for you, and it's going to add them to both the calls and the puts for you as well. Okay. If in a month it's not showing over here, you could just simply come over here and this under January 1 button here, it's going to add the next month out for you automatically. Okay. I really don't find that. I don't need it, so I'm just going to delete Feb there and hit enter, and it gets rid of it for us. Okay. It's okay here, and you can see that the matrix kind of flashed there, and now you can see these 210, 205, 195 strikes that are way out there. So that's how you kind of define your own matrix if the auto strike is not providing you enough strikes just automatically there. Okay. So that's how you can manually add strikes. Kind of gave you an information about auto strike there. Let me talk about one other thing before we dive into looking at a trade here. And we're going to go up to view at the top again. This time we're going to go to default models. Okay. This is really important when you first get OptionVue. A lot of times people say my modeling is off. It seems like I'm way below my chart lines when I first put a trade. A lot of the times, 90% of the time, has to do with slippage. Slippage by default is set to hit ask. That means you're getting the worst possible fill. Okay. Some people like to model that way, and look at a worst case scenario. All of us know that we're going to work an order, or at least get the bid in the ask. So I usually use a moderate because I'm going to expect some slippage when I'm putting a trade on. I'm not going to get the best possible fill. But if you want pure analysis and you just want to look at the best possible fills, you can always change your slippage to none. Or small. I set mine to moderate. Okay. Another important thing when you first get OptionVue is this, and it's been an ongoing topic for a year and a half or so, is using the combined call put skews. There is plenty of information in OptionVue and data coming in to almost anything you trade to not have to use a combined call put skews. This is just something that you would use to say you were looking at something like Nokia. And let me show you why that would be if I have Nokia over here. What is Nokia? Okay. Isn't okay. Another quick thing, since I just put that in there, if you didn't know what the symbol was for Nokia or wanted to look up a symbol, you can always go over to Edit, next to 5 here, go to Look Up, and you can type something in. Pop up for you here. If I wanted to then just throw that right in my quotes display, I could hit the Insert button, and it'll be there for me. It's going to be there twice because I did that. See that? Okay. So when I was talking about the call put skews, you can see now that there's nothing really trading here. So not a lot of data coming in, options data coming in to create some demodeling. This is an instance when you would definitely turn on the call put skew, and you could do this specifically for. That's what I would recommend, doing it specifically for particular underlines, and you can do that by going to this model button. Like before, we went to View, Model. That's for everything you look at, but then you can come in and customize it. Click on this model button. It's the same here, but this is where I would this off. Having this checked, this means that I'm overriding some default settings here. Okay. The reason is because now we're going to have double the information to create modeling if you want to look at trading an option where there's not a lot of things trading. So I explain where our rationale comes for using that and when not to use that. Okay. So to File again and go up to, View, and then go to Default Model. So again, make sure this is unchecked. You want commissions included in your modeling. When you go into a risk graph, if you want your commissions to be included, this is also where you check them off. Okay. Sometimes, I'd say probably more than less, want to know in their head what they're going to be paying for their commissions, and they'll just want to do the analysis and do the calculation themselves. You can always add commissions in, go back and add the commission after you put a trade on, and I can show that in a moment. Question from someone asking about using the skew for the futures. I trade a lot of futures myself, and futures volatility is a whole different animal. Let me get back to you on that, Brian. That's a question, and especially because when you're trading futures with OptionVue, you have, and this is kind of advanced here, and we're going to get off topic just for a moment. But if you go into the model button here, I was talking about these things here, but we can click on this volatility button, okay? And when you're looking at futures, I'm just going to highlight, for instance, farther out weekly here, and look at my skew graph, okay? You have volatility skews, and it's just giving me 3 volatility skews because there's not much time left in this one that I'm looking at weekly. Let me go further out here to a monthly. Here we go. Okay, now if you're looking at a skew graph, we're looking at the SPY. This is going to look a lot different than when you start looking at futures and things like that. So let me dig some more information up for you, Brian, and I'll get back to you on that. Okay, so we've covered model settings there. And you guys, I've posted my email address on my page. I'll show it again at the end there. And if you have questions, you want to email me, just go ahead and do that also anytime. We're going to go ahead and enter a trade in now. Okay, so what we've done now is because they are trading, there's a lot of underlines now are to make sure there's always 4 weeklies trading. Okay. So you'll see these numbers, and we've tried to come up with a way to separate so that you can look at a screen besides having the number of days here. But basically you have 4, 5, 1, 2. Okay, tomorrow we already have that out there. As one expires, the next ones come out, and so these numbers are going to be rotating. These 1 through 5 numbers are going to be rotating here. Okay, so that's what those are depicting, so that you can differentiate which weeklies are which. And not only this, but when you go in and put a trade on, it'll give you an idea of what contract you're looking at. A lot of people are trading all sorts of different spreads and things like that within the same accounts, within the same underlying, so it's just another way you can track these different positions. Okay, so let's just say we were going to put a calendar on in this here, and basically what I'm doing is I'm in the trade field. I'm going to get rid of my color here for a second so you can see this better. I'm just going to sell an at the money here. I'm always put something in trade column, never manually enter something in the existing position column. Okay, so I'm entering a 1 there. I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to buy 1. And as I'm doing that, you'll be able to see down here that my summary screen is showing me what my requirements are going to be. Okay, I'm going to actually up it a little bit here just so we can get some better figures here to show this. Okay, so we're doing a 5-lot calendar here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and now analyze this. Now I'm showing on the upper right-hand corner here, you're going to see what these lines represent. The solid line represents expiration. Then is representing where I would be at if I put this trade on right now. This line, which is today. You can see 528 here. If I click on this, it's going to bring me to this 528 line. Now I'm looking at what this will look like on the 28th of May. Show me that if I'm, between these 2 break-even lines, these horizontal lines are my break-even lines, it's going to show me where I'll be profitable. Okay, and this x-axis is you're showing the profit lines here. Now I can go up to 5 different lines if I want to, and I can increase those lines up in the upper left-hand corner here. Okay. Let me go ahead and go back here again, and I want to look at something. You can see my commissions are included here, so it's showing me. This is one of the reasons why my black dot is where it's at. See, it pulled in some better information for me, but what these lines are looking at is they're going to look at what modeling is showing you. The black dot is always going to represent where you're at. So if I on this D button down the right-hand corner here, it's going to show me that my what OptionVue modeling is telling you you're going to be able to close at. Okay, you have a theoretical price. That's the theoretical price that the OptionVue modeling is giving you. This at price, if you'll notice the numbers are a little bit different here, this is taking into account the slippage setting of moderate I have. So the modeling is going to look at the theoretical price and say, okay, you have your slippage setting to moderate. That means there's going to be a little bit of slippage, so I'm going to calculate that. And this is what OptionVue is giving you here. And then it's giving you the commissions that I have set up in account, calculating the commissions and the slippage, and this is where it's going to come out with your lines here. Okay. Whenever you're wondering where these lines, these commissions are coming from, always go to the lower right-hand corner, click on this D button, and it'll answer those questions for you. Okay. Let me go ahead and close this. And now let's say I didn't like this trade and I wanted to look at something maybe out a little bit further with more time in it. I can go up to this upper right hand corner. You see this little, you can just highlight it, hit the button, back button, whatever you want to do to get rid of it. Or you can go up to this pencil button and hit clear trade. That's going to clear everything in my trades field. So that, okay. Now I come out here when I want to do this a little further out. Let's see what it would look like. Okay. And now I can analyze this one. Okay. And what I can do is it's going to save up to 5 of them for us. So I can go back, I can go forward. I can then come out here and I can superimpose them over each other. Okay, looks like we got a brown and a purple. These colors are hard to see here, and probably more hard to see for you. But there's a brown and a purple. Unfortunately, you can't change those colors. We've been asked that before. Maybe it'll be one of the other features on the list. But basically, you can tell the difference here and click and superimpose these different files over each other, so you can see which one you would, which risk-reward profile is suitable to you. Someone asked me about changing the colors. You can't change the colors. Every time you go in and when I go and close this, I'll put a different spread on. It just goes through the colors by itself. So whatever is next on its list. Like it again, that's something we can add to the preferences section later on, so you can cut that even further. So I'm going to analyze this, and you're going to see we're going to have a green color now. Okay. And I superimpose these, and you know, it's the thing is that when you're doing, and you can do this. I can left click anywhere in the graph, and you can get left clicking, holding, and dragging it. If you want to zoom in or zoom out, you can have this little arrow going both ways along the x-axis there. I can left click, hold it down, or just it. Then zoom out. Kind of the same thing as these buttons over here will do for you. Right. If I want to go to the left or to the right, or of course zoom in or zoom out. No. Let me clear these trades. Oh, no, I'm showing you guys horizontals. They kind of look interesting sometime when you have different volatility skews going on. So let me go ahead and look at something else. One of these other questions here. Adjusting volatility separately when on the Analyze tab for the calendar, or just move the overall volatility up, down. Yeah, you know, only really volatility separately. I know what you're saying there. That's a good one, Dave. He's asking about changing the volatility numbers. Let me go ahead and do a little calendar here again. And we all know that the calendars, it's good to know that the calendars are Vega positive. I'm just doing this trade down here. Vega positive, good trade for a bearish viewpoint. Analyze this now, and I'm going to zoom in. My thing set to zoom out. Okay, I'm going to do another line here. There's only another week left. So what I'm going to do is you can change the volatility, okay? So let's say the volatility on the down, on the way down a little bit, going down to maybe 164 on the SPY, and this is going to increase by 1%, 2%, 3%. I'm just going to hit 1 in here for 1% decrease. You can see, watch my lines as I hit 2 in here. Okay, 3%. Your lines are going to jump. This is how you're going to be able to model not only movement in the underlying, but movement in the other factors as well, especially volatility. You can actually also step through these different timelines. You can actually also, and then you can, this feature up here is just going to, how is telling you what position you're looking at here. You can have it very concise, or you can get more defined as you move it out. So just showing you the position up here. Okay. Over, we are looking at show break evens. That's what these horizontal lines are. If you don't want to see those, you can take those off. And this is the wand right here. Left click on this wand, and it's going to show you to the penny where you're going to be at on what timeline you're highlighted on. So your Greeks and everything like that for that line. Now I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to click on a line, which is going to be 9th. This, and now you're looking at all the information along the x-axis for this timeline. Okay, I'm going to briefly look at a question here. Yeah, definitely select just one line to if you wanted to. And that's, this is going to be my expiration line. So probably you're going to be able to use, you might want to go maximum to 2. Let me look at this real quick here. Yep, you're going to go to 2 lines. You always have that expiration line there. But then if you want to customize that line, I'm right-clicking on this box up here. I can then change. It wants to show you that this is the farthest date out you can go when comparing this trade, because you've got one of the contracts at least expiring. But then you can go in here and you can change this date, it's variable with the format that you can put in here. But let's just say I wanted to do tomorrow. Okay, and then give me the tomorrow's timeline here. Okay, so another trade in here. I think I do. Superimpose them over each other. I didn't really pick good trades to do it with. Yes, you can definitely just go down to 2 lines and compare those lines. Change the date to whatever you want to by clicking this line. When you first get OptionVue, this will usually say T+0 will be the first line, which is today. You can do switch to dates. T+5 would be today plus 5 days. To change this to this view, you go into File, Preferences, and then right down here, do you want the T+N lines, or do you want to display the date? Okay. So that's at this the dates versus the T+ lines. That's you, however you want to have that done. Over here, let me show you, we have a current bell curve. So let me go ahead and click on something that's not today. Whenever we're clicked on today, which is T+0 or T+0, you're not going to see any standard deviation lines down here because there's no time left to create chance for that to happen. So I'm going to click on this next line. You're going to see the standard deviation lines pop up. This kind of purple pink line down here showing the first standard deviation, and then your turquoise line down here is going to show your second standard deviation. Okay. And that's where these results are going to be coming from. Okay, so based on these lines, it's showing you a probability of profit of 79%. That means that within this bell curve, 79% of the line, this line right here that we're highlighted on, this range is above the x-axis. Okay, I'm going to go and click on this line here, which is going to represent May 30th. And your little asterisk will move up here so you know what line you're looking at. But it's also highlighted here. And now you're going to see it drop down a little bit to 70% because the standard deviations get larger as you give it more time. Okay. Now another thing you can do here is you can set up your own targets, and this is kind of a we use the target button up here on the right, but now it's moved here. So if you don't want to look at the current bell results, you have to left click on this section here, and it changes to a target. So if I have a target, you can set up a target date, a target price, a price range. Okay, and basically what it'll do is, let's see. Say okay. This shaded region comes up here. Okay, so that's how you can create a target. I'm not going to get into that. Targets has a lot to do with your projections, trade finder, things like that. That's a topic for another time. But some great features that you can use. I'll just kind of give you a hint at it right now. But if you go over here, you can see the trade that I have in the matrix right now in the SPY, and I hit this button right here. It'll show you your kind of profit zone there. So I like to use that a lot. But anyway, so you want to say you want to get rid of this target. I could always click on target, hit this erase button here, hit OK, and it's gone there. Okay. So that's how you enter trades. Okay, so we're entering a trade. Let's say this is a trade that we really like to want to put on now. Okay, what you would do then is you would hit this convert trade button. Boom, you can see it move from the trade field, trade here, and over to the existing position field. And I can double check that by clicking on my T-log. Okay, and this right here gives you the date, what time I did this, selling one of these, buying one of these. This is the price I got filled at. This is my commission. Okay. You want to change your commission, you can highlight that. You know, I got commissions for each of those at. I'll change this to, that's what I filled at. So then you can go, you know, and see, you know, with your brokerage what you really got filled at when you put this on, so you can come back and analyze it and track it in OptionVue with your, you know, the proper cost basis here. You know, I use OptionVue to track my trades through OptionsXpress. And this is how I go back in here after and track it right after I get filled. I've created a record of this. Okay, so what I want to do now is, because I like to trade the SPY, I'm going to trade multiple contracts here. I'm about to explain the R column. Someone's just asking me this now. So what I would do is I put an A in here. Now, these columns, what this has to do with is specifically for the underlying. So if you have a position in IBM, you could use an A. If you have a position in X or the IWM, whatever, you can use the A. The A is very, very underlying specific. Okay, it doesn't have to do, you know, the only reason you'd want to use a different letter ever, sometimes people will be using different letters throughout this to their trades. Well, what it has to do with is it has to do with how many trades you have in that specific underlying. So I'm going to demonstrate this right now. Let me just say I got filled at two of them, this one. Okay. Now those are lowercase a's there. I'm going to go back in the T-log here, and to double check that I have that in here, I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and put let's say I'm going to put a bear right on over here. Okay. Okay. Now, if I want to analyze this, this is an existing position here, and that's what these buttons mean, E. So if I click on this E, it's going to look at the existing trade here. And it's going to give information about both of them together, but I just want to look at this one. Now, say I just want to look at this multiple trade together. So I can just look at this T button here, and now it's just giving me the information on the trade button, on the specific trade that I have in the trade field. Okay. I could also do something else. If I just want to look at, I can left click on the weekly button here, and it would do the same thing for me. It's just going to isolate everything that I have in this contract. Okay. If you look, I'll go ahead and click on the existing again. Now I'm going to highlight this one, and it's going to give me the information on this existing position for this contract. Okay. If you hold down the control button, you can highlight multiple ones of these, and so that you're kind of isolating them, and even go in to analyze and just analyze these specific contracts together. So we can analyze different things here, kind of what I'm trying to show and demonstrate here. So let's select this trade. I want to convert this one. Let's analyze it first. I'm analyzing my existing. I want to analyze my trade, just my T in the T trade column here. Analyze it, and this is what's going to show me. Okay, and somebody asked me what these S's mean. S's means we're not getting the quote in for those. Either it's not trading, which is might be likely. The 169, for some reason, is showing up on the put and the call. So usually that's what it means. I might have something not defined in there, but normally not. I'd have to check the CBOE and see what's going on with that one. But oftentimes you'll see that. For instance, if I go way out of the money here, these aren't trading. There's no data coming into option to show here. I find it hard to believe that nothing's trading at that 169 there, so I'd have to double check and see what's going on with that strike. Okay, so we like the trade. I analyzed it. I'm going to convert it. I'm going now with my demonstration of the R column here. We're going to go on the T log, transaction log, and now I would want to give this a symbol because it's on the same underline. I want to keep it separate from this horizontal I have going on, so I'm just going to use a B. Now what is cool is that we have this existing position included button here. It's looking at all of them together. Now because I have them separated, I click on the A, and you can look down at the bottom left where it says summary screen, and look on the A. This is my A position. Now I look at my the other spread that I put on. I click B position. See, and they disappear. So no, you're just looking at this by itself. Now I want to look at them all together. I just analyze this position. And see, I had analyzed no trades to analyze. That's because I'm on this T here. Now when I hit the E, I'm looking at my existing position. I can analyze. It'll look at that. Attach to my net position. I can analyze that by itself. Look at both. It's not going to make because I'm in this here, but I want to click on all. Now I can look at the whole thing together. Horrible. But that's how the R column works. Basically, once I closed this position, say that I moved out, 3 went by, whatever, and I closed this position, it would then close, and it would give it the same A. It knows that they're this position, and then I could go ahead once I close that position and use the A again if you want to. Okay, not going to mirror. It only has to do with open positions within the same underline, within the same account here. Okay, so I hope that explains it. I know it gets a little key when you're first starting to understand that, but it really is helpful when you have multiple threads on that you're trying to keep separate and keep track of separately, because you want to create a nice report for yourself at the end of a cycle or something like that. Okay, so and then let's say I didn't want those trades, I could always come back in here and you could delete the date, and it would actually be like you never actually converted that and put that on. I can hit OK, go to T-log, and that trade is gone. It's gone by matrix like it never happened. Okay. else I want to show you, you can, on the fly, change these column headings here. Okay. I just right-click where it says Delta here. I'd like to quickly to theta if I want to. To Vega. Okay. I was telling you about the formatting before. Let's say I wanted to look at my that default number 2 I have set up here. Now it's going to give me the bid, ask, volume, open interest, and the last came through. It's right up here. Next is 1, 2, 3. Let's say I wanted to, and this is kind of a newer feature, but I can look at what the probability of this is, probability finishing in the money. Okay, you count the standard deviations and the time left in the contract. So that's this of these strikes finishing in the money. I can also do of touching. And it blank because it's going to run a calculation for you. It's going to run a ability calculator for you. And when you only specifically have this column heading, does this PT button up here. So now I can run this, and it's giving me a calculation and tell me what the probability of not necessarily it finishing here, but just ever touching and coming back, or above, but ever touching this specific strike. So change these to any one of these that you want to on the fly. And if say you came through here and you liked this way you had this set up, you could then go to M, maybe click M3. So now I raise it as my third default setting. So I go between 1, 2, and the difference here from 1 and 3 is going to be that I have this probability of touching column at the end here. Okay. So talk about linking the trades with the R column number there. We've looked at analyze. I'm just going off my list here and seeing what we've talked about. One other feature I'll show you here that you can do. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to scale this matrix down here, right here. Okay, so now it's scaled to my red here. Thing you can do, say you're not looking at the puts, you can always click on that divider bar and drag it down. So now you've got a bigger some of the here, and I'm scrolling between the contract months back and forth, the weeklies. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this next corner button, kitty corner to the erase button. I'm going to hit this side-by-side graphic analysis button. Okay, so now I have these. You can leave side by side if you want to. This trade looks horrible. I'm going to click on June, and I'm going to close so we can look at something a little different here. I'm going to hit my graphic analysis button again here. Okay, now I'm looking at June. Okay. And I've got some kind of crazy modeling going on here. And I'll try something here before I go back into that. I'm going to close. Sometimes you'll get some, this is a good throw you, and I want to look at that. But what I'll do is I'm going to clear the data right now. Basically just asking OptionVue to pull in fresh data for me. I'm going to up again. I'm going to delete the asset file there. So it looks horrible. Not sure what I did there. Okay, so what happened there? Let me explain that. I'm glad that happened. Checked off here, the asterisk there. You see it says minus 240 2. Okay, basically what it's doing is it's saying that it's taking into account a trade that I had on before in this account, and it's looking at previously realized gain losses. It's a tricky button. This happens often. I get people will call in and say, I don't understand. I put a trade on and it's totally underwater. Well, if you have that checked off, it's taking a look at a previous trade you did, and it's going to say, okay, do you want to use previously realized gain losses? Some people like to roll a strategy, and they keep rolling it, and they want to keep seeing where they're at overall. Okay? Sometimes I'll say, come in here, and where you can do this is click on this info button next to the log here, and it'll say GL to include previously realized gain losses. No. And that goes away there. Analyze. And that's what it's supposed to look like. That's what was throwing me off. So that kind of a good to know. I'm glad that came up. Okay. Go ahead and go back into what I was trying to show you before, is the graphic analysis, side analysis. And I mind my trade in, my spread, there it is. I'm going to go side by side. And up. Okay. Now, what's kind of nice about this is you can say you maybe want to turn this into, a really butterfly or something like that. Okay. So what you do here is I'm going to go ahead and type a 1 in here because I'm going to add a contract here. It is going to reflect up here. Let's say well 1 here. Okay. Looking at existing, I want to look at both of them together. Okay. I did the way. Go make I can correct it. Come down here. I want to set these. One of these. And that's can really start to superimpose different things over each other, make adjustments, be able to make changes without having to go from the matrix all the way back to analyze, go back again. So you can change these fly here. This button here, again, we call that the side-by-side analysis. You hover over buttons here in OptionVue. It's going to show you what they are. Okay. I've got a pretty long time and covered a lot of the stuff that I wanted to. So let me see if I have. I delete the assets file again. Can you just refresh with a little refresh? Yeah. No. What I did why I deleted the asset file is sometimes, I was at a loss at why that was happening. I figured out why the trade was so underwater. Well, it was because I had realized gains losses included in my calculation. If you can see up here, you can have an unlimited number of accounts in OptionVue. So what I do is when I'm doing walkthroughs or whatever, I have tons of accounts. I need to actually go through here and delete them, but there's no limit to what you can do here. I have a lot of back testing I've done. And sometimes I'll go in, I'll change settings just so I can demonstrate them to people, and so that's why I didn't realize that I had that evaluation to include previously realized gain losses in here. What I did when I'm at a loss or something's not looking right, what I'll do, and often people will call up and say, hey, I'm just getting crazy data in my matrix or my risk graph. What I'll say is right-click on the symbol in the quotes display, delete the asset file, and basically what that's doing is just asking OptionVue to go out, clear the slate, and bring in a batch of data. 95% of the time, that's usually what happens. Someone's asking about let me finish up with this other section real quick here. The little refresh button up here, what that'll do, that's if you have in backtrader mode. I'm pulling in closes from the real-time data feed. But yeah, you can. This is the refresh button now. You don't have to be in backtrader mode in order to pull data in this version, the latest versions of OptionVue 7. You can hit this button, and what it'll do is it'll pull in the last most current pricing that we've stored there. So we do not have an interface with IB. You can get you can get data into OptionVue from IB. All you'd have to do is have your trader workstation open. That's IB's trading platform. And then you'd get the broker quotes through QuoteView, and then you would get the data from IB coming right into OptionVue. It's kind of the least expensive route to go as far as getting data fed into OptionVue. But as far as integration with the trading, it is not available outside. So basically, we can program to get their data, but it's not available for us to do the integration with the trading, so you can trade directly to your IB account with OptionVue. What's funny is what's coming next is integration with Trademonster. That's probably I don't like to say time frames, but hopefully it's within the next month and a half or something like that, because I opened up and funded my account with Trademonster, and I'm excited to do it. But you'll be able to trade right through OptionVue into your Trademonster account. You won't be able to get their data, which is interesting. We tried to get Trademonster's data, but we can't get their data. But we can do the trade integration. So this is where it comes down to not necessarily, the programmers on OptionVue's side. It's just what is available, what they're going to allow us, or what they have set up on their end for us to connect to. So with IB, we can get their data. We can't trade through them. With Trademonster, we can trade through them, but we can't get their data. The latest version of OptionVue is bigly set up. We're just waiting for Trademonster to finish up some things, and I'll show you here. If I go to Info, I go to New Account. I thought here. Out here, anyways. Cancel. You would do it here if you wanted to do trade button. So I account set up right now with OptionsXpress. It's even more advanced than what OptionsXpress is doing. If I had go in the OptionsXpress account and I hit the trade button, basically my OptionsXpress opens up, my execution page there opens up, and then I'm able to. The trade is sitting there waiting for go. The one that I was analyzing and obviously as to go, I can go ahead and place the order then, or make an adjustment if I want to. But Trademonster, it's going to be fully integrated, where you're going to be able to actually see a different side of OptionVue that you've never seen before, where you're able to actually work your order and execute it. You won't even have to go to your Trademonster account to see this happening, because everything is going to go right to their servers, and then it's going to come back right into OptionVue, tell you it's filled. You're going to get the accurate commissions, accurate fill prices right in OptionVue. So I'm pretty excited about that to happen. Not TOS, unfortunately. Someone's asking me about TOS. We tried to have the hookup with the data there. It didn't work out. So you cannot use TOS data in OptionVue. We were working on it diligently at the beginning of the year here, and then basically it came down to something that was going on with Windows update and security and things like that. So we just can't promote it anymore or get it going. You don't need Backtrader for historical data anymore. Yeah, you need Backtrader for historical data. Someone's asking me this. To do back testing, yeah. Basically, the thing I was talking about before was previously, if anybody only subscribed to Backtrader delayed data, you'd have to go into NetView at the top here and go into Backtrader, and then you just have to hit this D button. Okay, this is the last price we have going on and hit start. So you have to do this. Now, instead of having to have this little Backtrader mode window open, you don't even have to have that open anymore. I'm just doing this here just because I have the real time there. You can now hit this little refresh button, and it's going to do every an hour if you want to use the data. So now, say it was middle of the trading day, and the next half an hour popped up, you could then hit this button, and it's going to pull in the most recent updated data. Okay. Better data, and like I said, you can go into Backtrader mode and go back to January 1st of 2001 if you want to, or what a lot of people do is they'll use that as a delayed data feed, because a lot of times, of course, they're getting it real from their brokers. Backtrader is $75 a month, or it's $750 a year. Broker quotes, that's the integration that service we have going on with IB. If you have your IB account open, you can pull in that data. That's $60 a month or 60 or 100 a year. Okay. So those, I just got questions coming through. That's why I'm kind of letting people know those options are. You can lease OptionVue. You don't see that often on the you don't see it on the website, but it is available. It's like $89 a month. A lot of times, you'll be you're ahead of the game after 10 months, no matter what you do when you purchase the OptionVue. Okay, so basically you can lease for $99 a month. What people will do if they want more time to get used to OptionVue to see if they're going to use it is they'll lease OptionVue for a couple months, and then they say, okay, I'm ready to buy. This is the tool I'm going to need and use. But again, it's something that we offer. Use e-signal data? Yes, we do not in OptionVue anymore. I don't have any more information about going back or not, so I don't know. There's what e-signal representative about at the New York Traders Expo over back in February, but I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, I've done almost a full hour here, so I'm going to see. Anybody have any more questions? I'm going to, let me just scroll through my questions here and see. It's a question at the very beginning here. Do an import. Yeah, let's do an import real quick here. Let's say that you want to import symbols into OptionVue. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to create a new tab. This will be a real quick demo, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to insert a new tab. I'm going to click this import test. Okay, and I'm just going to do this as a demo. I'm going to go to my import test. It's blank. Okay, I'm going to go out to website here, and before I go there, I'm going to show you guys. OptionVue James is the YouTube channel. I post all our videos to. You can subscribe that way that you can get an update anytime I put one up. You can see the archived webcasts on our homepage here, and you can always the schedule is. Okay, let's just go to the easiest one. I'm just used to using finviz.com. There it is. Do a stock screener, and this is what I would do. I would, do whatever you want to do. Copy this, copy a list. Let me see how I'm going to do this here. I'll copy, whatever. Copy. I'm going to open up a. Oops. So basically, yeah, you can copy. Basically, what you want to do is copy them, move them to Excel, edit, and then you would go to paste symbols right there. So you can do that. You'd want to do it in Excel, and you want to delete the other data you don't want in there for that to work. That didn't work at all like I wanted to. But what you do basically is go copy any list of symbols you want to do, drop in the Excel. OptionVue is very Excel friendly. Highlight that whole column there, and then go to edit, paste symbols, and it'll paste them all for you. See if there are any more questions. You can get the information on OptionsXpress. You don't get data with OptionsXpress. And someone else give me a couple questions here. Basically, all it is an interface to their trading execution page. The symbol basically goes over there and the price you want to try to get filled at. That's it. There's no data, no other real integration there. So you have to keep track of all your trades yourself. Finviz.com. That's a stock screener. It's a pretty robust, free stock screener. Check it out. You can do technical screens, fundamental screens, create a watch list, whatever you want there. That's what I'll often do sometimes if I want fundamentals, because OptionVue doesn't do screening for fundamentals. Let's see what other questions are here. Yeah, close out a trade. Let me go back into my main, and we were in the SPY. To close out a trade, you just put the opposite trade in. -1, +1. Come trade. We'll close T-log. You can see they have the same number. This position is now closed. Okay. That's how you close. Just put the opposite trade in. Meta from Trademonster. That is correct. Just being able to execute through their servers. Making money using OptionVue. I'm making money working for OptionVue. Yes, absolutely making money using OptionVue. I have a good relationship with the mentors here, of course, and the education that I've gotten from them and just from being here is awesome. Definitely will give you an edge as far as finding trades, then being able to put some alerts up based on deltas and things like that. That's something I didn't get to today. As you can see, I could spend another hour and a half going through OptionVue, but we just have enough time to do that in this session here. So Eddie, want to do a personal walkthrough? Let me go ahead and close out of this and bring back up my chair. So you can look at the email down below and then also the phone number. Give me a call. I'm happy to schedule something with you, or if I'm available, I'll do desktop sharing and walk you through, and you can even look at some trades if you're looking at something that you're looking to put on personally, or want to use Trade Finder and see what OptionVue will throw it as. A very robust tool to find trades, analyze them, pick your your gains and your targets for your stops, your losses to get out as well. So anybody need anything or have any questions, you give us a call or shoot us an email. I'm being recorded, so if anyone that didn't get to jump on here, it'll be on the YouTube channel or on our website. Okay. Again, everybody.